right, fans, the third and final hour of RWL Global War from the nation's capital. Don Hickson and the rest of the RWL crew here for hour 3, and if you figured we'd run out of championship matches, you would be sorely mistaken.
Couple of quick notes here. Kurt Grove sends his apologies to everyone, but he's very busy behind the scenes coordinating both this and upcoming events, so he wasn't able to make it tonight. Also of interest, there's no sign of the sectarians, who seem to have gone radio silent. None of them here tonight. Lucky us.
Reasons to be cheerful, for sure. We still have several more very important matches leading up to the main event tonight for the World Heavyweight title. We've got pre-recorded comments from both opponents in the third hour opener. Let's hear from Georgia Washington and Snarl Women's Champion, Liberty Bell Danielle.
You know, I see all the vile crap you say about me online, but ain't it funny how when I was 2 feet away from you, I didn't hear you saying anything. All I got from you is attitude. That's all you are, Heathcote. Attitude and ego with a side order of talent. But here you are, with Danielle Heathcote is this, that, and a third, and everyone else is no good for whatever stupid reason you dream up for yourself. The Snarl Women's Champion probably shouldn't have a main character complex. I bet the month away's been a breath of fresh air for some fans. You're here, what, a couple of years now, and expect to be treated like some 10-year megastar. No, really. Who the hell do you think you are? Look at it this way. It's still going to be the same Snarl Women's Champion, with an American woman wearing it, and we're just replacing the Liberty Bell for the Yankee Rose. I want to start by congratulating Patty on her win tonight over Brenda Blair. Next, I want to thank everyone out there, the fans, for all the messages and emails while I was out. It really meant a lot to me. So now I'm back and I've got all these titles I've got to defend, and I don't want to let anyone down. But here's Georgia Washington getting right in my face. The ink isn't even dry on my medical clearance, and you've got me signing for a Snarl Women's title match? Who even does that? Georgia Washington does that. We all know Georgia. She's a false American. She's dishonest, disingenuous, sneaky, and she's the kind of rat that beats on opponents after the match is over. She did it to Pam Parsons, right in front of me, and Brooklyn Von Braun. That's not worthy of being Snarl Women's Champion. Nobody wants you to be Snarl Women's Champion. And I know you're going to go out of your way to hurt me if you can, knowing I'm just coming back after a month on the injured list. That's how you roll, Georgia. You're the Tanya Harding of the women's division. There's like a million other reasons you're not going to be Snarl Women's Champion, and since I don't have time to list them all, let me give you one reason. The best one. It's because that belt is going home with me tonight.
And so it is out of the frying pan into the fire for Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote, back from injury, set to defend the Snarl Women's Championship against the Yankee Rose, Georgia Washington.
The next match, one fall, 20-minute time limit, is for the Snarl Women's Championship.
The Olympic hero Kurt Angle accompanying Yankee Rose, Georgia Washington for this Snarl Women's Championship matchup against Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote. Of course, the big story being Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote's return after a month away on the injured list following her Hell in a Cell match with Jody Vorek in Philadelphia last month.
And Jody is going to be back very soon, is what Ted DiBiase says. But whatever the Memphis Millionaires is up to, it's being done in absolute Soviet-era secrecy. She's a story for another day. The Yankee Rose, like it or not, goes into this match in great shape. That major win over China, and yeah, just pouncing on Danielle for this match immediately. The smack of an opportunist. The Yankee Rose be kinda stanky.
Hey, look at that. Everybody's standing up. You bet they are, Myron. American Powers is back in the building. Powerhouse Patti Powers and the Snarl Women's Champion Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote back after a month away on the injured list. Confined to bed rest for 2 weeks. Finally in the Performance Center in the training facility trying to get it back together in the ring for the last few days. And she is prepped and ready to go for the Snarl Women's title defense against her heated rival, the false American as she describes her, Georgia Washington, the Yankee Rose.
I've gotten pretty well acquainted with Danielle. I can tell you pretty much Georgia Washington is not going to make it tonight.
The challenger along with Kurt Angle from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Yankee Rose, Miss Georgia Washington, and accompanied by Triple Crowner Patti Powers from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and our WL Ladies Triple Crown Champion and the Snarl Women's Champion, All-American Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote.
Well, the way Danielle explained it to me, she's real happy she passed the physical, but she's still a little bit apprehensive. She's still got a bunch of sore spots. And that cell match with Jody Boric, so she's a little bit nervous about putting that Snarl Women's title on the line against Georgia Washington, against somebody she knows she hates, who hates her back and is going to try to hurt her and everything. So, yeah, you can pretty much figure.
Yeah, it's got to be very, very difficult for Danielle.
Danielle's been real hot since Georgia confronted her in the hallway last week. Well, who could blame her? Like she said, the ink wasn't even dry on the medical clearance yet. That's pretty low. All right, Tom Canamora rings the bell. And here we go, Georgia Washington. Locks it up with Danielle. Winds up the arm. Danielle counters it. Georgia Washington can't seem to break the lock. Danielle's got it cinched in pretty good. Liberty Bell Danielle takes down Georgia Washington with a leg sweep. Kick to the midsection from Georgia. Hard whip to the far corner for Danielle. Rebounds out. Counters with a kick. Georgia Washington. Drop toe hold on Danielle. Danielle counters with the right forearm. They lock it up. They tussle. Georgia shoves her away. Takes down Danielle with an elbow. A kick to the back from Georgia Washington, followed up with a stomp. Georgia Washington getting real aggressive with those red, white, and blue boots. Georgia with another kick to the back. This isn't good. Danielle's taking a whole lot of punishment in that cell match. Every little one has to hurt. Georgia Washington, caught from behind by Liberty Bell. Danielle shoves her face down. Georgia kick to the midsection to Danielle. Clubbing overhand right takes her down to the canvas again. Kurt Angle cheering her on. Elbow from Danielle. Fireman's carry from Georgia. Georgia Washington escorts Danielle to the far corner, head first into the turnbuckle. Multiple turnbuckle smash for Danielle Heathcote. Oh, that is not good. Georgia Washington with a kick to the midsection. And whoa, jumping neckbreaker from the Yankee Rose. Georgia drives a knee into the head of Danielle Heathcote. Georgia takes herself all the way up to the top turnbuckle. High-risk maneuver coming up here. Whoa! Catches knees from Danielle Heathcote. Countering just in time. Danielle with a hard shot to the face. Georgia Washington. Whip to the corner. Rebounds out onto the mat. Liberty Bell. Countered. Hurricane Rana from Georgia Washington. Counter from Danielle. Charging spear from the Liberty Bell. Kick to the back to Georgia Washington. Danielle takes herself all the way up to the top turnbuckle. Getting ready to go high risk here. Georgia Washington stands herself up. Here we go. Missile dropkick misses the mark. Georgia Washington covers. One. But just one. Patti Powers, happy to see her American Powers tag team partner back in action here. Liberty Bell counters Georgia. This wheelbarrow DDT. from Liberty Bell. Danielle, he's got, whoa, counter. Georgia Washington quickly back up on her feet here. A leg sweep takes her right back down again. Danielle, he's go rallying the fans in D.C. with the red, white, and blue action. Georgia hung out to dry on the apron. Counters. Georgia Washington back in the ring now. Danielle whips her to the far corner, misses with the knees. Georgia Washington takes her down with a one arm. Oh. Georgia Washington drags her down, goes for another cover one. Well, that one didn't work out. And gonna see a lot of near falls here. Snarl Women's Championship on the line. First, Danielle's first defense since coming back. Again, knees to the midsection. Every time she tries that shooting star, Danielle just seems to know it's coming up. She's whipped into the far corner. Georgia Washington catching a boot to the throat from Liberty Bell Danielle. Collapses down into the corner, a kick to the gut. Counters, finds her way out of the corner. Well, here we go. First submission here. Danielle going for the crossface. She's centering. Georgia Washington with nowhere to go. Going to have to counter and find her way out, and she sure as hell does. Georgia. Counter. Jawjacker from Danielle takes her down. Liberty Bell Danielle stalking Georgia Washington. Georgia quick with the counter here. An arm drag from Danielle Heathcote. Danielle with the nice bridging suplex. Rallying the fans here in D.C. Georgia Washington takes her down with a spear. Wow. Spear versus spear with these red, white, and blue ladies. What a matchup. Liberty Bell Danielle on the receiving end of the business here from the Yankee Rose. Again, another cover. 1, 2. But 2, only a near fall. Georgia Washington desperate to get that pinfall. Danielle counters with a jawjacker. Swings and misses. An elbow takes her down. Liberty Bell counters. Gets back up on her feet quick. Throws it up and stomps to the back. Rounds up Georgia Washington. A hard kick to the midsection. The Yankee Rose taken down into the crossface again. Tom Cannemora asking her what she wants to do. Nowhere to go. She's reaching for the ropes. But it's no good. She is tapping out. Liberty Bell Danielle defends the Snarl Women's Championship and wins it by pinfall. She is back in business, everybody.
Here's the time. 6 minutes and 6 seconds. Your winner, and still Snarl Women's Champion Liberty Bell, Danielle Heathcote.
Well, indeed, if Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote is not at 100%, you wouldn't know it from this evening's performance against Georgia Washington, with Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote looking at least 100% healed, at least to my eyes, and retaining the Snarl Women's Championship. What a performance. Welcome back, Liberty Bell.
Well, she knew Georgia Washington was going to try and hurt her, so the best thing to do was to wrap it up as quick as she possibly could, and damned if she ain't pulled it off, managing to get Georgia Washington to tap out to the crossface. So Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote looking pretty good in her return performance and retaining the Snarl Women's Championship. I think everything's going to be all right. There's still a whole lot of championships to defend with the ladies triple crowner, but I'm sure she's going to do just fine from here on in.
And Danielle really was right in her pre-match comments. Nobody wanted to see the Yankee Rose replacing the Liberty Bell. And luckily, she didn't take too many lumps and did get a quick tap out. And still lots more to come, so please do stay with us. Global War will continue.